Today in sports history, Federer announced retirement from tennis at age 41. Today in sports history, September 15th, 1899, Willie Smith wins the U.S. Open golf title, beating George Lowe, Val Fitzjohn, and W.H. Way. 1923, Bill Tilden wins the U.S. Lawn Tennis Association Championship, beating William Johnston in straight sets, 6-4, 6-1, 6-4. 1962, Frank Trapucker of the Denver Broncos passes for 447 yards and 2 touchdowns in a 23-20 win over the Buffalo Bills. 1971, Stan Smith wins the U.S. Open title over Jan Codes, and Billie Jean King beats Rosemary Casals for the women's title. It's the first time in 16 years both titles were won by U.S. players. 1973, 3-year-old Secretariat wins the Marlboro Cup Invitational Handicap in the then world record time of 1:45.2 to 5 for 11/8 miles. 1973, Archer Griffin of Ohio State starts his NCAA record string of 31 games of rushing for at least 100 yards, leading the Buckeyes to a 56-7 rout of Minnesota in Columbus. 1978, Muhammad Ali becomes the first 3-time heavyweight champion with a unanimous 15-round decision over Leon Spinks at the Superdome in New Orleans. 1991, the United States women's gymnastics team makes history with its first team medal, a silver, at the World Championships in Indianapolis. 1995, Cards shortstop Ozzie Smith sets record of 1,554 double plays. 2002, Sam Hornish Jr. wins another incredible race at Texas Motor Speedway, and his second straight RL title. Hornish side-by-side with Helio Castroneves for many of the last 25 laps in the season-ending Chevy 500, crosses the finish line 0.0096 seconds, only a few inches, ahead of the other driver in contention for the season championship. Hornish wins his IRL record 5th race of the season and becomes the first driver to win 2 IRL championships. 2002, Oakland quarterback Rich Gannon begins NFL record-tying Kate Warner, Steve Young streak of 6 consecutive 300-yard passing games, throwing for 403 yards in Raiders' 30-17 victory at Pittsburgh. 2004, NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman announces a lockout of the Players' Union and cessation of operations by the NHL head office. 2012, LSU beats Idaho 63-14 to give the Tigers an NCAA FBS record 40th straight non-conference regular season victory. LSU also set a Tiger Stadium mark with 20 straight home wins. Kansas State had 39 straight non-conference regular season wins from 1993 to 2003. 2013, Phillip Rivers is 36 of 47 for 419 yards and 3 touchdown passes to Eddie Royal to lead San Diego to a 33-30 victory at Philadelphia. Michael Vick of the Eagles passes for a career-best 428 yards and 2 touchdowns and runs for a score. 2017, the Cleveland has its AL record run stopped at 22 straight games as the Indians are beaten 4-3 by the Kansas City Royals. 2018, Zlatan Ibrahimovic scores his 500th worldwide goal in the Los Angeles Galaxy's 5-3 loss to Toronto FC. The 36-year-old Swede joins Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo as the only active players with 500 goals for in-club and international play. 2021, U.S. gymnasts, including Simone Biles, testify against former team Dr. Larry Nassar at a Senate committee hearing, criticizing a system that allowed it to happen. 2022, tennis great Roger Federer announces his retirement from professional tennis at 41 with 20 Grand Slam wins and 103 ATP titles. The day the game paused. On September 15, 2022, the world of tennis did not simply wake up to news, it awoke to an era's end. Roger Federer, the man whose very name had become synonymous with grace, artistry, and timeless excellence, announced his retirement at the age of 41. For nearly 2 decades, the Swiss maestro had carried the sport to heights once unimaginable. His announcement was not unexpected. His knees had betrayed him long before his will ever did. But when the words finally came, they felt like a thunderclap. The Lava Cup next week in London will be my final ATP event, Federer wrote in his farewell letter. With that, history was made, the end of a chapter not only for tennis, but for global sport. The elegance of an era. Federer was more than a champion. He was poetry in motion. While rivals blasted serves and hammered forehands, Federer glided. His one-handed backhand, once considered outdated in a world of power hitters, remained a painter's brushstroke, brushing lines with a precision that seemed effortless. From the grass courts of Wimbledon to the hard courts of Melbourne and New York, Federer's artistry transcended surfaces. His record spoke volumes. 20 Grand Slam titles, 310 weeks at world number 1, 103 career titles. But statistics alone could never capture what Federer meant. Watching him play was like watching sunlight dance across water. Fluid, ephemeral, impossible to replicate. The rivals that defined him. No story of Federer is complete without the rivals who tested him. Rafael Nadal, the relentless warrior from Mallorca, who pushed Federer to his limits and carved one of the greatest rivalries in sports history. Novak Djokovic, the iron-willed Serb who emerged to challenge Federer's supremacy and force him into evolution. Together, the Big Three redefined tennis. Their battles were not just matches but epics, 5-set marathons that left fans breathless and history books rewritten. Federer himself once said, with humility that defined him, "I might be the one with the most beautiful game, but Rafa and Novak made me a better player and a better man." The farewell letter. When Federer's retirement letter was released, it was not a press statement. It was a love story. Addressed to his tennis family and beyond, it carried gratitude, humility, and the emotional honesty fans had come to expect from him. He thanked his wife, Mirka, who had stood by his side through surgeries and triumphs. He thanked his children, who often toddled onto the court after victories. He thanked his team, his fans, his rivals. But most of all, he thanked the game. Finally, to the game of tennis, "I love you and will never leave you." Those words resonated because they captured what fans felt too. Federer was not leaving tennis. His essence was woven into its very fabric. The global farewell. The announcement sparked a global outpouring of emotion. From New York to Nairobi, Tokyo to Sao Paulo, tributes flooded social media. Rafael Nadal tweeted, "I wish this day would have never come. It's a sad day for me personally and for sports around the world." Billie Jean King called him the champion's champion. Fans wept openly, remembering childhoods and adolescences shaped by watching him glide across Wimbledon's center court. The Lava Cup, chosen as Federer's final stage, became less a tournament and more a coronation. His doubles match alongside Nadal, two rivals turned brothers-in-arms, ended in tears, embraces, and applause that refused to fade. The legacy beyond trophies. Federer's greatness cannot be measured only in titles. His legacy was built in how he carried himself, grace in victory, dignity in defeat. His sportsmanship set a standard that transcended generations. He was a global ambassador for tennis, speaking multiple languages, connecting with fans on every continent, and making the game feel universal. But something intangible shifted. The game had lost its artist-in-chief, its beacon of elegance. The courts would still be filled with power, speed, and grit, but the ballet had ended. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share. Till next time.